I found out the other night that I'm down to my last quart of corn relish, and I really like corn relish, so I'm going to make another batch. What I've done is thawed out 4 pounds, two 2-pound packages of kernel corn, and I thought this time I would add green beans because I like green beans, Lacto Fermented. I've grated up 4 carrots and a fairly large turnip, and I've chopped up a bunch of green onions and about 10 jalapenos and about a dozen serrano peppers. I found out that jalapenos lose their spiciness with the ferment, so I added serranos thinking maybe I could add some spice. So what I'll do is just add the corn, 1 package, and then about a tablespoon of canning salt, maybe a little more, and just sprinkle that on. And the other package of corn, I don't know how well it would do if you added the corn frozen. As it is, it swells up anyway in the jar, so you have to leave some head space in the jar. I forgot to get down the distilled water, but it's close at hand. Oops, a little bit much. Another tablespoon of salt. Canning salt, of course. Now, a pound of green beans. Well, actually it's 12 ounces, but almost a pound. Wow, that'll be nice. Okay. Let's put in our carrots and turnip. The reason why you should use root vegetables is I've been told by more than one source that lacto fermentation takes an enzyme that comes from vegetables that grow in or near the ground. And root vegetables fit that bill. And I really like carrots and turnips anyway. So everything else here grows above the ground except for the carrots, turnips, and onions. So they lacto ferment very well together. So here's our peppers and onions. Got to leave room in the bowl to stir it up, because you got to stir it up and mix it well and mix that salt into it. Let's do 1 more tablespoon of salt. There. That'll be good. Alright. Let's mix it up. It loses some of its color in the ferment, but it doesn't lose any nutritional value at all. In fact, it gains nutritional value because it changes stuff that is not as digestible into something that is more digestible. Plus it adds, I guess you could say, enzymes, nutrients to your intestines that help digest other food. If you eat this with meat, it will help you digest it better and keeps your intestines healthy. And besides, it tastes really good. If, for instance, we don't really feel like cooking a vegetable, this is a vegetable right here. And it's a condiment. I like it with everything. My little camera lady there puts sauerkraut on my sandwiches every day for lunch. And I have it, sometimes I may not have it with breakfast, but with lunch and supper I definitely always have lacto fermented veggies. I like to get all of that mixed in well so that the carrots and turnips are in there to add their enzymes that help the lacto fermenting process. Alright, let's spoon it into the jars. Let's see, let's use this cleaner cutting board. Okay, let's get started. Where did my red funnel go? Right here. With this stuff you don't have to pack it down because we've mixed the salt in well and we're going to add the water to make the brine. Wasn't sure how many jars this would take, but I definitely want to leave space because these veggies do swell up. Ooh, I'm sloppy tonight. And just squish it down a little. Just a little more. Let's call that good for that jar. This one seems a little cloudy, but I think it's good and clean. Darn it. I've worked all day and on my feet, but I wanted to get this stuff started before I ran out of the other, because I really like my corn relish. And I guess this is a good place to put in a plug for Sally Fallon. Her book, Nourishing Traditions, has shown me quite a bit more on how to do this. As far as I know, this will be the only video out there on corn relish. The only other sites I have seen just took pictures. Okay, let's call that good. Let's do a 2-quart, half-gallon jar. These are 2.5 gallon jars that I bought pickles in at the grocery store. So I paid money for the canning jars, but the pickle jars are a byproduct of the family enjoying some pickles. And not that pickles are bad for you, but they're just not as good as lacto fermented pickles. This is so much better for you. Vinegar has its place. It is a good thing. I like vinegar. But since I started this, I eat a lot less vinegar and a lot more lacto fermented veggies. Let's see if we can get the rest in there. just love the mess that I leave. Oops, my hand won't fit in there. Let's just pack it down a little bit, just enough to... Okay. Now, we want to add distilled water. Never use water straight out of the faucet because it has chlorine, and chlorine will kill the lacto fermenting process. This is one way you can do your water if you don't want to buy water from the store, is take a good stainless steel pot, fill it with water, bring it up to a boil, and then let it cool to room temperature. The boiling process gets rid of any chlorine in the water. And then after it has come down to room temperature, it's safe to put in with your veggies and start the fermentation process. One thing I like about Sally Fallon's idea is, even though some of these veggies stick up at or above the surface of the water, putting the lid on seems to keep out bad bacteria so that the fermentation can take place. If you get any mold or what I call scum, a white substance on top, just skim it off. Everything under the liquid is good, still good. If it smells so bad that it makes you gag, it's no good, throw it out. But I assure you, 99% of the time it's going to smell and taste really good. So here is my recipe for corn relish. Like I say, this time I added jalapenos and serrano peppers because I like it spicy, and I added green onions, which the Koreans really like their green onions in their kimchi, and I make a kimchi as well, but without the fish sauce. But there we go, that's my version of corn relish. Thank you.